We are Ben and MP, and without knowing, we bought a boat that needed a full refit. Lately, we've been working on ballast, and there was a change of plans that we think you will like. Also, after so much work and effort, our windows are finally ready to be installed on the boat. Subscribe to our channel and stick with us to watch how this will unfold.
We are now reaching a final phase here, the windows in this place, because now what we're gonna do is put all the pieces that we've been building together. Once that's together, we're gonna bring them to the boat and install them. So here, we're reaching the final phase in this place.
These windows are almost going to be glued into place, as in all parts of the Lego are going to be one. And what's cool is I've been asked to help out a bit, so I'm going to be able to learn a lot about gluing a lot with epoxy and precision work, which later will be very needed on the boat as well. I'm quite excited for this. The reason we're only doing one side, and the other side, as you can see here behind the light, which is really cool, is still not even screwed in properly or epoxied, is because we're going to bring this to the boat, take one side off, slot the windows in with Sikaflex, and then fasten the other side. So we need to have one side open still so we can fasten them onto the bulkheads of the boat. Also, we only have one window in, which is glued and not on a rail. The reason for that is we're only having one window that's slidable. Because we thought, if you've got two windows like this, you slide them both open half, you've still got the same amount of total open space. Also, having one glued shut and one slidable, we can decide which one is shut, so less water gets in from waves coming from the bow. So yeah, one will be sliding, one will be glued. And the one that will be sliding is going to be put in later on the boat. that has to be epoxied in these windows has been epoxied already and dried. All we need to do now is finish some small touches to sand off the plugs and stuff like that, which is a very quick job. The next step is, here is one that was made earlier, is the little rails, which are these over here. There's one per window, two per window, one on top, one on the bottom. And it's to install the final window, which is over there, which is going to be the sliding one. So we've said it before, we've got one window which is epoxied in and glued fixed shut, and one that will slide. And now it's time to add the slidey one to then start closing all this off, bringing it to the boat and finishing the varnishing layer on the last part of the window. Now that's only going to be done once it's installed, and this is like the last step, and then we have windows on the boat. Right now Rafa is still filling up the PVC pipes with scrap metal over there by the container, so we can then bring them into the boat. Nico is sanding the roof of the superstructure, sanding the last layer of epoxy that we applied, so that we can start varnishing it and protect the epoxy from the sun, which sun makes the epoxy very hazish, like white, turn white, so we're going to get that done as soon as possible. And what's really cool is that today the windows are coming to the boat, so in the afternoon we're going to go next door, bring some windows here and start installing them, which means cutting the current shape that we have in the walls, the bulkheads, to the exact size of the windows and start installing them already.
The moment we've been working for has finally arrived, and the windows, which are now ready, are finally coming to the boat. And just like that, the boat has two windows already. Well, they still need to be installed, but they are here. now in place, we're gonna do this same thing to all of them, and then we're gonna glue them and screw them in and do all the rest. For now, I'm just gonna add them in place. They're looking very nice.
Tu fica aí, fica aí.
Next 3 are going to the boat. This is the shipyard right next to Yabá, which is quite cool because we don't have to go very far. And these are from the port side, same places where the ones we just put in, because that's where water still gets in. So next to these 2, and then we can work our way forward. Am I shouting? Before we move on to all the other windows, these are the 2 where water comes in as the boat is sloping backwards. All the rain that lands on the roof here enters in these windows. So before we move on, these 2 are going to be fastened to the boat with seagull flex and the screws and everything before we move over to the rest.
Tem que passar o dedo, tá?
This here is the first window that's completely in place from the outside with screws, plugs and Sikaflex. The inside still has to be done, but that's not the priority, as this is the waterproof part. I've just temporarily put some of this tape over very loosely so that when we work on the next one up, all the dust doesn't land on the freshly, nicely placed Sikaflex. So that's being prepared right now, and then we're going to move over to that one. Same thing exactly, but one more further up, and then we're going to the other side to make the boat waterproof-ish. The outsides of these two port windows are now also in place. All 4 windows that had to be put in place right now with the Sikaflex over here, you can see, are these 4 because this is where the rain comes in. Now the next step is to continue on this port side, measuring out the windows into where they have to go, cutting what's necessary and leaving them without glue for now, so that later we can just put Sikaflex in and put one by one in. But yeah, for now, measure everything out, put them all in place, and then work on them with Sikaflex one by one. Every single window that has been made over on the other shipyard is in place. With that I mean everything except for the most forward one, that's for later. They have all been dry fitted and fastened on with one screw. The next step is to prepare them all for the Sikaflex. Also take them off and prepare the wall, the bulkhead, which is this part here. So it's going to be filled with a piece of wood and epoxy so that we can later screw all these on from the outside and the inside with Sikaflex. And of course this was the very fast process. The slow process is the taping, cleaning, making sure the Sikaflex looks nice, but at least we have an idea of what this is going to look like in the future from the outside. And of course after that it's varnish. While we've got this window work going on, we've got a bunch going on in the engine room to prepare the engine to be placed because it's still on the deck, which means making sure the supports that the engine sits on are in the right place, nice and sturdy. Also make sure it's nice and clean under where the engine is going to be, because later it's going to be difficult to clean that. And very cool thing we've put on, Jonathan and Khaled have put on a 5th layer of varnish here on the whole boat actually already. So there's 5 has already been put on, more at the bow, and the 5th one has just been put on here and it looks amazing. They're preparing the port side right now and Nico is inside manually sanding or fairing, I guess, the roof of the superstructure from the inside, which is going to be painted white, and the beams are going to be varnished, so it's going to look very smooth when he's finished with it. This is now all unloaded, which is very cool. However, it shouldn't be here. We just unloaded it here so the truck could leave and wasn't on the bike path. But all that's gonna have to move all the way over there now. So that's the next step. So all the ballast is here. It's about 1.5 tons, and it's more of a powder than it is the shrapnel grains that we had before. I'm being surrounded by dogs over here. This is Coca and Censored. All the last... The latest delivery of the ballast is all arrived. It's all arrived in bags of 20 kilos, and this is more of a dust or a powder than it is the shrapnel we had before. We've got 2 PVC tubes, I think 10 centimeters diameter of 6 meters length, which we're going to start cutting into the lengths we need, where we can still fit it into the hole and start filling it up. We won't show too much of us filling it up, but we will keep track for you how much ballast we have in the boat so far.
A great update with our ballast that we know that will make many of you that were worrying very happy. We found a new iron substitute, which is this. As you can see, this is actually microspheres of iron. What that means is that it gets polished for them to become very, very round, so it doesn't rust. We did a test, we left it for many weeks here out in the rain and the sea breeze, and they don't rust at all, which means it doesn't need any compound to protect from rusting like the previous iron scrap that we had, that we were adding oil to protect it. This one doesn't need it, so the PVC pipe will be filled just with this, without any oil, and they'll be very, very safe because the oil won't be inside. So whatever had oil before is getting replaced. So you see here, this previous one got replaced already. It's oily, as you see. It's not soaked in oil, but it's oily enough. And now all the PVC pipes will have only this inside. And another worry that we read that many of you had, the tubes won't move because they'll be fastened in place. Also, they won't leak because the lids will be glued with PVC glue, and also they have an O-ring inside, so it should be very, very shut and safe. And we are very excited about this new iron option that we found. We hope you like it too.
We've been building this boat, or helped build it, for a very long time now, but we're still very new to a lot of things. So thank you to everyone who's left suggestions on how to improve what we're doing and to help improve Yabá. We would especially like to thank our new patrons George, Ruth, Angie and Aaron, and for donating through PayPal, Robert, Stasha and Webfront Design, and for leaving a big super thanks on our YouTube channel, Urbani Zirano, Joseph, Jade, Veteran Mike, and Nestor Avila. Thank you so much.
And thank you so much for all the birthday wishes. It meant a lot to me. See you guys next Sunday. Bye!